hello.
Don't know what's happened. I'm early for a change.
Hey. Hi, Dale. Hi, Brian.
Hi, Crystal. How you doing?
Very well, yourself.
Great, great.
Hi, Shabbir. Brian,
Great.
what I want to do? I'm sorry, go
Hello.
ahead.
No, I was just
Good morning.
this is a great way to start the week. Lots of exciting new ideas and great company.
I absolutely agree. Wonderful company. I love it. Brian, quick question for you. When we shift to Sparks, do you have a video ready to roll on your computer?
I do.
Perfect.
And so what I was going to suggest is say, look, we'll just watch it, see what people think, and I have a feedback form for people.
And maybe before even they give you feedback, let's have a few questions how to use it and so on, or something of that sort, and then feedback. What do you think?
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, the goal for me is to say, look, I think the content could be interesting, and it's relatively successful, but it's not as successful as it could be.
Well, let's do both. Let's discuss the ideas that so we have the audience that will also give you good feedback, and that's good for all of us as well. And then yeah, absolutely, let's discuss how can it be improved as well. Would that work?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, that's actually a great idea, Christoph. When I assign videos and watch them in my classes, I set it up by telling people what to look for. So if you have something you're specifically wanting feedback on, if you give us a head up about that, then that'll inform how we view the video, what we look for. So
And what
type
type of
of feedback are you looking for? Yeah.
Dale, what type of thing that you have people focus on when you're looking at a video? Is it the content? Is it how would you
Yeah.
phrase that?
It has to do with why I'm showing them the video in the first place, what I want them to get out of it. And I found that when I don't do that, they don't see the things that I'm trying to highlight as teaching points.
Okay, cool.
So, how is it relevant to you? What do you want from us in terms of information or feedback on the video? So how it's striking us, is it something I'm interested in? Am I going to buy it? Is it a setup for a training? Where are you coming from in producing this video? What do you want from the audience? That kind of thing.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Okay. Yep.
Thank you, Dale.
Yep. Hope that helps.
Right. Here we go. Good morning, Amy. Mark, good morning.
Good morning.
Shabbir, thank you so much, as always, every week to provide the news. Miguel, hi. Greg, hi.
How are you?
Very well, thank you. All right, I think we are, what time is it? 11:02. Let's go ahead and get started. More people will continue to join, as always. So, happy Monday. Welcome to today's call. Delighted to have you here with us. Today on the agenda, Shabbir will take us to the most important news of last week. And as every week, there's a ton to discuss. And then we'll do a stand-up. What did you learn? What are challenges that you have? And any questions for the team that we can support each other with. And next topic will be Brian as a presentation. Don't use AI, work with AI, and the Sparks method that is going to present to us via video. And I'll let Brian do the introduction as we get into the topic, and something that we can discuss and support Brian as well with. And then at the end of that, we'll see how much time we have left, and we'll continue into the breakout rooms where we can continue to talk about Spark. And we have this usual topic, business ethic, education, tech development, and health available to all of us if we want to discuss. So with that, let's go ahead and get started with the news. And Shabbir, the mic is yours.
All right. Thank you so much, Christoph. So hello, everyone. Hope everyone doing great this morning. So I have some interesting stuff for everyone to really watch out for, new things which have happened. So first thing I want to bring to the group is Midjourney launched their video model. So now Midjourney was really good at creating aesthetically pleasing images. Now you can create videos as well on the same platform. So you can actually create video out of the images you create. So there's no like text to video directly, but it's more image to video. So people who have Midjourney plans definitely explore. It's available on the $10 plan as well. So definitely an interesting move. I think we have a lot of video things happening. So this is a new kind of you can say an option which has come up. Definitely explore. I've seen mixed responses on the internet about it. Definitely, there are better options out there, which I'm going to talk next. Is actually, it seems there is a better option based on what the influencers are saying compared to the video generation from Google. Google launched VO3, but I think now we have few models coming out of China, and I think there is something called a Seed Dance, which is text to video model coming out of ByteDance from China. Apparently, some of the influencers are rating it even above VO3. So definitely check that out. That's one of the models which have come out of China. Also, among others, there are an open source model, again, a video model coming out from Minimax. That's a Chinese company. They also launched a Minimax agentic platform as well. And Hello AI, again from China, has launched another model as well. So definitely check it out. These models are in the domain of video creation as well as agent platforms. Moving on from there, a bit more of you can say spicy news. I can say there's a little bit of rift coming up between Microsoft and OpenAI. Not necessarily good for OpenAI, but I think one of the key things, the major rift area coming from there was about acquisition of Windsurf. So Windsurf wasn't Currently, it looks like since 40.
Is it just me or Shabbir is cutting off a bit?
It's not just you.
Okay. Shabbir, I think we have a little bit of let's see. You're back. Let me unmute yourself. Let's try again if you want. You're muted at the second. Yep. Okay. Try something. It was working perfectly. Then you went a little bit muted. You're muted, Shabbir.
Oh yeah. Okay. Can you hear me better now? Otherwise, I can switch off the video and I can
Perfect.
try.
There was just a drop for 30 seconds. If you want to go back.
Yes. So I want to make sure people I discussed about the models from China, and some of the things I discussed about was about the new model from China, from especially from ByteDance, the Seed Dance model, which is a text to video model, and apparently people are saying it's better than VO3 as well from Google. So definitely check it out if you are into text to video and you want to build good, interesting videos. Definitely that is a model to look out for. In addition, there are other models from China, including the Minimax M1 model, which is again a video model. Hello AI again is a video model, and Minimax also launched their agentic platform. And so these are the two big news: the Midjourney launch of the video model and these models from China. Then came the news from a little bit of, you can say, under stories about a rift between Microsoft and OpenAI. I hope everyone is able to hear me very well.
Yeah.
Yes, no?
All good.
Yeah, okay. All good. Okay. And this news, the major point of friction is about Windsurf. Windsurf is, if some of you using it already, maybe not, but it's a editor platform, IDE, integrated development environment, and it competes head on with VS Code. And some of you already aware that Microsoft open sourced the Copilot, and since Microsoft has 49% stake inside OpenAI, they wanted to use some of the things inside Windsurf to be put out inside Microsoft VS Code. And apparently there's a rift between the two about it, because really OpenAI does not want Microsoft to use anything as part of their acquisition with Windsurf. So a little bit of, you can say, rebellion rift brewing in. I don't know it is good, bad, but definitely this has been happening under the covers, and that's expected because both companies have built competitive products and each one really wants their product to kind of outshine the other one. So things are happening there, but hopefully they will get to a resolution. The other big news I want people to be aware that OpenAI is stated to release GPT-5 this summer. Let's see when they release it. But at the same time, there's also news around Meta trying to, offer $100 million as joining bonuses to Ilya Sutskever. Ilya started a new company, and even ex-employees of OpenAI, current employees of OpenAI, I think big money is actually being offered on the table by Meta, because Meta knows that having top tier AI talent is key in the AI wars, and it thinks getting such talent by paying them a lot of money is probably one of the best ways to do that. So that has been happening. Happening. I think we are all aware that big money is given to the big AI talents from these big AI companies, but I think no one even imagined that kind of a $100 million kind of joining bonuses are also given. So maybe it's insane, but this is happening. I think I did bring news to the group last week or before that the company Scale AI, a major portion, 49% of the stake is acquired by Meta, and Scale AI is going to be mainly the founder of Scale AI is starting like super intelligence. Now we already see a race towards super intelligence, as if AGI has already been achieved in a way or is not very far-fetched. So a lot of these companies now, trying to fight for talent which can help them get to super intelligence. So that pretty much wraps up the news from last week. A lot of it is about new video models, and is a lot of is also about super intelligence, how these tech companies are competing with each other as well as fighting for each other with regards to the the AI talent. So that pretty much sums up last week. Very happy to hear any thoughts, comments on what I've just shared. Also, feel free to bring in any other news which you guys thought was important. Thank you.
Can I ask a really stupid question? Has anybody figured
Sure.
out how to make a video on Midjourney? I've tried it and I can't figure it out, and I'm not that slow.
Okay. So I have not tried it, Brian, but when you create an image, just click on that image and there's an option to a button called as animate. That's what I've seen on the videos.
I think that you have to have the paid version, no?
Now, I have a paid version, but I mean, what I saw was a need to have several videos and put them in series. And that seemed a whole lot harder than Veo, which was make me a video of a frog laughing. And it made a video of a frog laughing.
So, Brian, as I shared, it does not allow you to create a text to video. It does only image to a video at this stage.
Okay, that's it. All right, got it.
Okay.
Any other tool that anyone used that week, or any news that they found interesting?
Yes, I bring it up last week. There is a from Abacus, there is a new agent that is making some noise. I haven't tried it. Someone anyone have tried that from Abacus? Because I think it's Deep Agent. No one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No.
Maybe next week I will try it and I will tell you how it works.
I had something kind of cool this week. It's an old tool, but somebody encouraged me to go back to it. There's a site called Synesthesia, where you can make, for example, an explainer video and stuff like that. And originally it wasn't very good. And the last versions are pretty damn amazing. I mean, you just see the evolution of things going so much faster. So not only did it have a speaker for the video, but it made animated slides and sort of a video for everything coming together. Okay. Really cool. And you can do up to 3 minutes free.
You put the link in chat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's called a Synthesia.
Yeah. I did some Christmas card in December about my company. It was Santa Claus ate that.
Yes,
it was
we remember
good.
that. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very funny. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I haven't been using tools, but I'd like to blame both Miguel and Brian for me being exhausted. Because Brian, I watched your video on the pitch, which I thought was great, and I've been working a lot on that the weekend. Interestingly enough, you don't talk about the why very much in that video. You know, why are you building the product? Why does it exist? And also really, I think it's very interesting to make sure you have a good MTP, which is massive transformative purpose. I think that's a very important part of it as well, because in the net result, to get people to listen, I think you have to inspire them rather than, you know, to get them not to be resigned. So anyway, that was a lot of my exhausting weekend. So thank you very much for that. And Miguel, on Friday, you were telling me I've really got to get some sound bites in my software. So I've been working on those. So thank you both very much for my efforts over the weekend.
Mark, can I ask you a question? Did you watch a TEDx video or did you watch a webinar that I did?
It was the TEDx video.
Okay. Yeah, it's not doing great. Yeah. Tel Aviv.
But anyway, you got me going. Thanks.
Oh, no, but no, I think, yeah, that's two different things. I mean, I don't know what you mean by it's not doing great in terms of traction. I mean, the video itself, we have had the opportunity to see it several times here, and that's I thought it was pretty darn well done. I'm not trying to be kind, you're just saying that it was.
So the way that you could measure whether it's doing well is, you know, the interaction rate with the video. So if 100 people see it, what percentage make a comment and what percentage share it? And it's not there yet in terms of growing. It's not going to go it's going to go
You have to put sound bites in it.
I do actually have another tool people might be interested. Has anybody used something called Wise Cuts?
No, does not look like it.
Okay. Eco video editor. So what you do is you upload a video. So for example, you upload the TED Talk that I did there, and it will pull out 1 minute to 2 minute snippets for you. And they're all by a theme. And it's pretty good actually.
So I don't have any tool, but I did watch a couple of videos that got me thinking, you know, in terms of the evolution of AI and the speed of acceleration that now is like, according to Altman, the double, not 300% every 6 months. I heard numbers of doubling every 5 months. Now it's 300%, which is that much more. But the interesting thing they were saying is that they were comparing US and China and AI as an arm race, really, and China being 3 to 6 months behind the US, so making a lot of the way up. And the other part, it really was like they compare it to an arm race. They really don't want it. That's why we don't see much anything to try to control or put moral into it more than the aspect of it they were also showing is that the US was so far behind in electrical production that in their mind, China has 23 nuclear power under construction at the moment, as opposed to 2 for the US. So that they, by while the US still has the edge on the chips, it will lose it on the electricity. So interesting, not tool, not something we can use, but it was interesting nonetheless to see the context of that video. Dr. Thomas, please.
Yes. And how does Midjourney compare to Soraya?
And
Soraya, ChatGPT's video?
yes. Did you use both, or are you asking, or they compare?
No. How does Midjourney compare to that?
Oh, I mean, I have looked at few influencers, right? They are talking. So Sora is like now number 5, roughly. So they are putting the new video model from China, which I just talked called as Seed Dance. That's from ByteDance as number one. Number two, they're putting VO3. Number three is VO2. And then number four, number five is around, Sora. So Sora has gone very behind now because these
Really?
new models have come.
Have you looked?
And
Have you tried Manus text to video?
Manus Text Studio, no, have not tried. But I think, as far as I know, Manus uses Anthropic Claude.
They use
And
VO3.
if they're using VO3, then I think they're probably in Spot 2. But
Yeah, well, they're much,
again,
yeah, what's much better than Soraya. It gives you
yes, Sora is definitely, I think, gone way behind compared to other models at this stage. Sora.
okay.
Yeah, and comparing it with Midjourney, definitely, I think probably Sora is a little bit better than Midjourney still, because Midjourney just launched the first version. But definitely VO3, it's VO3 is better
Fading out.
compared to not. Yes.
Good. What about you, Rick? Question, please, comments.
Not a question, just a brief share actually on the theme of how AI affects brain structure and functioning. And I'm going to share a link. It's Eric So, who talks about the downside of AI on people who are developing their skills. Fascinating. I think the thing about it to me is if you don't train people on how to use AI that enables you to enhance your skills as well as use AI skills synergistically, then your basic skills can atrophy. And I'm staying with some school teachers at the moment who basically say that's their concerns too, is that it allows people to use it, but they're not developing the skills to write, for example. So I'll put the chat in. So
Is
it's
that
on the.
is that your research, Rick? Interesting.
No. It's not my research. It's Eric So, who's he's an MIT professor who is studying the effects of AI and brain function. So it's on the theme that I've been touting. So I just came across it. I thought I'd share it because it just provides a different perspective about the upsides and downsides of AI.
Rick, thank you, Rick.
Being an electrical engineer, I remember the same argument being made about the slide rules.
Exactly.
In the calculator.
Exactly.
So yes,
Exactly.
we lost the skill to do level 3 decimal point logs in our heads, but we don't need it, right? So there's gonna be trade-off of skills. I agree.
Yeah. But to me, the important thing is we're not training people from the get-go of how to demonstrate how they're using AI in a transparent way that shows that we as humans can do a better job than AI alone.
And Rick, what are the two top solutions they propose? Training in some sort to how to ask question, what do they recommend?
Yeah, well, that's opening Pandora's box. That's not part of this particular thing, but it's something we can talk about when we come to that session, because that's critically important. We could spend the whole time just on that. So I don't want to derail the agenda.
Okay, so Rick, I know you're coming. You tell us when you're ready for the schedule in the next few weeks, and
okay,
let's read this article in preparation for that.
I'll send some more stuff in on WhatsApp to get people, revved up a little bit so we can have more of a dialogue than a presentation.
And I think we have one of the rooms specifically for education. This way, if you can store them there, they'll be easier to find for everyone if you want.
Mm-hmm. Rick, can I ask you a question? When I hear you talking about this, it's about using AI. And the thing is, when you use AI just to give you answers, it doesn't spark many brain cells. But when you actually work with AI, you have a very different interaction. Do you think there'd be some mileage in social media around don't put your brain to death? No, don't put your brain to sleep using AI. Wake it up using AI, something like that. Wake it up.
Yeah, I think it's a question of how we develop our inquiry skills. So it isn't just simply Q&A, it's iterative. And how do you go back when you get an output where you disagree? So to me, it's a question of developing the prompting skills that, it generates a list of questions. A lot of the time, I don't think the questions are very good. I said, I can ask a better question than that. So you can then demonstrate, this is the question that AI suggested. This is a much better question, and look at the output. And then when you get the output, you study that, and then you iterate with that, saying, well, there's misinformation there, or there's a good point here, but it's not good enough. You know, that's the I think the creativity that needs to go into it, and that's a teachable skill.
Great about the prompting. I think we may have a topic on that in a few minutes, don't we, Brian? That's perfect. Well, thank you so much, Rick. And yeah, absolutely, prompting is key, and asking.
Yeah. So this is Mark. Apologies, I'm driving, so I can't put the video on. So John Steely Brown co-authored a paper recently, which I'll have to find and post on this topic. And the hypothesis of that particular work, and it was an academic paper, was around using the AI as a peer, as part of the team, rather than like doing this question and answers type of a thing. And then I'm taking over a practicum class that a professor just did this last semester, where he assigned the graduate students, MBA graduate students, to work on a digital transformation, which is heavily focused on AI. But he did something similar. He told them that each of you need to use the AI as a peer, as a member of your team, both individually and as a group. And so I think this would be a really interesting topic, because I think I think the direction is, if you're just using it for question and answer, and you're really not using it to its greatest effect. And that once you learn its strengths and weaknesses, you can start leveraging it in ways that that can be quite stunning. And I'll give you a quick example, which I should do a demo at some point. I'm an advisor to a company called Deep Invent AI, which is a co-invention and patent platform that will actually help you write your patents. But what was fascinating when I first used it, I took a chemical problem that we were having in the lab, and some very recent research that we had discovered on it. And I asked the Deep Invent, what do you think about this? And it gave me the standard answer. And I said back to it, it's like, in our lab, we've discovered that that's not true. We're finding some other examples. And it said, just a minute. And it has access to every single patent and almost every single scientific piece of literature that's been published historically, including like up to 3 or 4 days ago. And it came back and it said, you know what? There have been 2 papers in the last 6 weeks, and it cited the papers that indicate that you are correct. And and so we continued, and then it went, and this is where you leverage the AI. It said basically, hey, Mark, there's a similar kind of result over in the zinc theories. You're using silicon, but there were some folks that have done some recent work in zinc, and this particular pattern may be true over here. Should we explore this? And so what it did was it jumped domains, and it jumped into a domain my scientists are not familiar with and do not read. They do not read that research. And so within an hour, I had helped to create, which have no chemistry experience whatsoever, helped to create a patent application, which we haven't filed yet. But so again, that's where it has access to all knowledge. I do not. My experts do not. And so that's
exactly.
Anyway, I'll stop. It's fascinating. And then on the video stuff, I assigned the students to do an end of the semester presentation, and one of the ladies who works at Blizzard Entertainment used a cutting edge video, and she did the entire digital transformation using Brian Solis and some other folks' digital maturity models. A complete video using their assets. It was fantastic. I'll show a clip of it sometime. But it was truly stunning, and it got the point across. So it's like, imagine you're inside of a World of Warcraft game, and those are the characters that are telling you that you need to do a digital transformation. That's what she did. So I'll stop.
Thank you so much, Mark.
Mark, I have a question for you. Have you ever heard of something called Triz? T-R-I-Z?
Yes,
Oh
I
yeah.
have.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a creative brainstorming management
Right.
tool type thing. Yeah.
So basically, the idea there is this guy, a Russian guy a while back, said, "Look, all the patents that exist today are based on ideas that exist already." For 97% of the cases, that was the answer. And it's actually the whole process of Triz is applying domain expertise in one area to another area, and amazing stuff that you can do with AI and Triz.
Mm.
Yeah, I think you've hit on something there, because that was I was stunned. And the tool is actually pretty good. It's in beta now, and the team has surprised some pretty senior innovation folks in large corporations, where they were discounters like, yeah, this isn't going to be real helpful, but I'll give it a try. And literally an hour later, they file their first patent.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And Ben, thank you for putting Layla's news as well. I do review them every week. They're really good. And also, Carlos, you shared an article about education. You just want to say a quick thing about it, so we know what.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. I just shared a Medium article that I wrote related that tackles the issue of using AI with respect to education, as what we're currently discussing. Yeah. So.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. All right, 11:30. Let's shift to our next topic, if that's okay with everyone. We'll have more time at the end if you want to discuss to go back. So, Brian, thank you very much for sharing. Brian has created a methodology called Sparks, and I'll let you do the talk about it. And I've had the privilege to watch that video already a couple of times, actually. And that's perfect in sync with what we just discussed, I think, is using the AI as a co-pilot. So, Brian, I think you would like us to review that video and then discuss both these two aspects of it, the methodology, and also support you into the content, so improving the content. So go ahead if you want to make a quick introduction about it first.
So it's a perfect lead in here. It's all about working together with AI. So what I'd like to do is something among friends. So I've created a video. I was inspired a little bit by somebody else. I said, "Oh wow, I can do something really cool." And what I saw is just a dramatic difference in results of what I put out and what this other guy put out. And what I'd like to do is get your feedback on it. So if you saw this thing, how would you react to it? What do you like? What do you dislike? So on and so forth. And then help me make a decision about whether it's worth remaking it. I'm going to share my screen here. Let me give you something here. So, so I just put in the chat a link to something that looks like this. So in fact, you will get, if you click on it, you can get to a page, which is in Mural. Mural is a whiteboard. For those of you with AI, it actually does some really cool stuff. So in fact, I can take all your Post-it notes and I can summarize all your comments and things like that. But basically what I'm looking for is I'd like to show you a video. I'd like to get your first impressions. I wrote a few of mine. I said, yuck, another PPT, a slow start. I'd also like you to think about, what's happening in terms of, the message, which is most companies aren't getting very much from AI. Am I missing something important? And then lastly, how can I make this more shareable that people want to share it? To give you an idea, go ahead, Dale. You're muted.
Well, I was just going to ask you, what are you going to use this video for? What is your intended use of it?
The use of the video is I run courses. I run one-day workshops around the use of AI, which I think are pretty good. And it's to sort of give people a feel for the type of stuff they would get there.
Great.
So, is Brian a nice guy? Would I like to do stuff with him? So on and so forth. Okay.
Thank you. Yep.
So to give you, if you go to this board, there's the gold standard, which is a guy named Jeremy Utley. He made a fantastic video. I was inspired by it. In 3 weeks, he's got a 1.5 million views. And there's some things that he does really, really well. And I made my own little video, and in 1 week I get 750 views, which is sort of a very big difference. The way this thing works, I don't know how many people have used Mural, but basically you say, look, I want to write something. I just click on the side and I type. If I say, look, it's great, or you dislike it, you can just put your comments there on the page. So basically what I'm looking for is first impressions. What do you think? Why are people not getting stuff from AI? And how could I make it more viral? It is 8 minutes long. I hope it doesn't put anyone to sleep. If it does, then I'm doing a really bad job. But I think the content is probably interesting to a lot of you. So here I am. Let's see what I got. And basically, this decision I'm trying to make is it worth.
I just made a $27 ebook in 2 minutes.
Okay, this wasn't me.
That's how I did it.
I'm not making the $27 ebook.
Here I am, a designer, and the first thing.
Hi, I'm Brian Cassidy. I speak at a lot of conferences. Okay, so this is the video. So imagine you're coming through your social media feed. Somebody sends you this video. Basically, what I'm looking for is, what do you think? Is it good? Is it bad? Horrible? Events about AI. And I'm often asked the following question. What's really happening with AI? My answer is everything and not very much. If you're excited about AI, I have a pretty good idea of what you've been doing. You've read a bit, tried a lot of tools, and keep searching for more. With 36,000 on just one site, you'll find tools. When you find them, you use them as tools. You focus on asking questions and looking for faster and faster and faster replies. But the more you try, the less you're getting done. Research from Harvard has shown AI makes people 25% faster, 12% more effective, delivering 40% better quality. In a study with a very, very bright, very talented consultants at Boston Consulting, AI made them 43% more creative. But according to a study by McKinsey in 2025, the hard fact is less than 10% of working professionals are driving meaningful productivity gains from AI. There are some predictable issues with the ways we use AI. These are well-known behavioral issues that lead humans to do things wrong again and again. Here are 7 things that you and your colleagues might be doing wrong with AI. There's an overconfidence bias. We trust AI too much. There's a present bias. Quick wins. Ooh, that feels good. Let's go, let's go. Automation bias. If AI said it, it must be right. There's cognitive offloading. AI is thinking for me, so I can turn off my brain. There's an authority bias. AI is an expert, so I can trust it. There's confirmation bias. We basically prompt AI to get back the results we want to get. But the biggest and the most dangerous is satisficing and stopping thinking. The solution in a few words is simple. Instead of asking AI for answers, you need to work with AI to find answers. The emphasis here is work with. Too many people are in the search for the magic bullets, the tools that will make everything easier, secret prompts, secret handshakes, the amazing things that you might find lurking dark deep within LinkedIn. What people really need is sparks, insights on how to work differently with AI. Why? So regardless of the tool you're using, you're always getting better results. I love the word sparks because sparks of insight are closely tied to innovation success, and innovation is close to my heart. I'd like to use this world to help you see how you can work different with AI. Each letter stands for something you should be thinking about doing different. S stands for speak it out. The next time you use AI, instead of typing your prompt, simply talk out loud. Why? We think different and usually better when we talk. Talking is not a gimmick. It's a way to get into the flow. Most of us use AI like a search engine. Instead of searching, let AI ask you some questions. Pivot the role. Let AI ask you some questions. If you want an eye-opening talk with AI, try this one out. I'd like your help figuring out how AI can best support this project. You need to describe your project, of course.
Ask me questions one at a time about my goals, current process, and constraints until you have enough context to give a few obvious and a few non-obvious AI recommendations. You'll be amazed by the results. A is about asking for more. If you really want to get more from AI, you got to be a bit more demanding. AI is not like people. You can always ask it for more. Unfortunately, we often accept the first answer AI gives us. If you want better ideas, don't accept the first answer unless it's truly great. Say what you like, say what you don't. Ask your AI to think again. R is about reframing. When you change your perspective, you change your answers. In a study we ran on idea generation, the strongest predictor of the number and quality of ideas is not the quality of the people, the tools being used, but it's the number of different ways you pose your innovation question. Why is simple. If you keep asking the same question, you run out of ideas. When you ask your question different, you get different answers. I have a hint for you. Use HMW. What's HMW? It's how might we. This simple acronym will change how you think and how you frame questions. Great ideas don't land in one shot. Too often we give up, excited by the first results. In social science, this is what Herman Simon calls satisficing. A definition of creativity I love comes from Jeremy Utley's book, Idea Flow. He's quoting a 7-year-old child. He says, creativity is doing more than the first thing you thought of. Keep asking questions like, what did I miss? How can I see things different? And my favorite, how could I do exactly the opposite? These questions will get you past the very first thing you thought of. S is about stopping and thinking. You need to put in strategic pauses. After your session with AI, don't just move on. Think about, what did you learn? What changed in how I see the problem? What should I ask next? There's a study run by the Economist Intelligence Unit of 312 companies split into 2 groups, go, and companies known for taking strategic pauses. The companies taking strategic pauses sold 40% more and earned 50% more. Can you think of a stronger reason to stop and think? The last thing is about changing your relationship with AI. To truly unlock the potential of AI, we need to shift our mindset from using AI to working with it. This involves a new kind of partnership based on a few key principles. First, you need to be patient. When you give AI a task, it will sometimes give you the wrong answer. Just like you'd be patient with a team member. Explain why it didn't work. Come back, give feedback, learn from each other. Collaboration is a two-way street. Teamwork is a two-way street. If you work together, you will learn together. Sometimes people come to me and ask, can we really change the way people work with AI? I don't show them a research paper. I often talk to them about my mom. My mom is 82 years young. I can't use the word old and my mom in the same sentence. Her and my dad got back from a trip to Europe. They were jet lagged, cranky, and hungry. I talked probably a bit too much about AI during the time they were here. My mom called. We just got home. We're starving, Brian. Too tired to go out. No food. Can your AI thingy do something with that? Expecting, of course, that I'd say no. I asked, Mom, what's in the fridge? She replied, I don't know. Half a zucchini, maybe some wrinkly cherry tomatoes, a lemon, perhaps some garlic. I said, take a picture. Send it to ChatGPT and talk with it about what you like to eat. She tried, and that did something that made me smile. Ha, I would have never thought of that. That AI stuff works. AI came back with roasted tomato zucchini pasta with lemon garlic oil. 15 minutes later, she was plating it like a Food Network star. If my mom can work with AI, so can you. If you want to get better results from AI, you need to use it differently. Print this out. Use Sparks. You will get better results. That's how you get more from AI. That's how you become a generative organization. I'd like to end with a challenge for you. It's easy to click to the next video or post. Instead, take a minute to start using Sparks now. Record some thoughts about this talk. Go stream of conscious, just talk. Then ask ChatGPT to summarize your thoughts and make the LinkedIn post. Or use one of the tools here and make a post about your experience. Tag me. For the best ones that make me smile, I'll give you a free 1-hour talk or a keynote at your company. Hint, Tell me a story about your mom or grandma, and you're almost certain to win. I hope to hear from you. Thanks.
Vale. So, how many people fell asleep in that? It's so horrible listening to yourselves, guys. God, you can't imagine how it is when you watch yourself talking.
There we go.
Maybelline. I was trying to figure out how, hold on, let me figure out how I can get out the screen. So my basic question, did you fall asleep? Where did I lose you?
On the opposite, what did you like?
So I have two comments as potential upgrades. The first is fix the audio.
Yeah.
It was terrible. You can hear yourself breathe, like
Yeah.
So fix the audio, and that's just like an initial response that you just want to be sure to get rid of. I would start with the story, and then work in the academic and the papers and so forth. So get the hook. Get the hook first, and maybe, I don't know. I loved it. I think it was good. You've got a lot of content in there. A lot of content. But yeah, I liked it.
It's a lot for 8 minutes. I have another version of this, which was started out with saying, I wanted to be an artist, but I was too slow. AI might have helped me, and how AI could be like my muse. And I think that's probably a nice way to start this.
I like that. That's nice. Yeah.
Thank you,
Amy.
Mark. Amy.
Hey, I loved it. So this was the second time I watched it. I watched it on LinkedIn, and then it is so valuable. It has great information, and I loved everything about it. But a little constructive criticism with the delivery. You weave back and forth like this a lot. So yeah, that was a little distracting, but other than that, I thought it was wonderful.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna the thinking is to refilm it professionally and actually fix the video stuff, fix the audio stuff, fix the weaving, the swaying stuff. But I can't fix it. It's just the way I talk. Mark, you're up.
Yeah, I really liked it, and for Amy's comment there, I would say I think it's a question of inserting pauses and being a bit more relaxed. That's people weave around when they're nervous and they are consumed about what they're going to say rather than being with the audience. So I think that both of those would help a lot. I like what you're saying. In fact, I've just written an article that's going to be published either this week or next week, and I went through and looked at both of the strengths and the limitations of Gen AI and humans to kind of figure out this way of working with it better. One of the things that I believe it's not curious; it's only responsive. So it doesn't ask questions proactively or ask why questions. And the idea of actually feeding it into basically, it can't really operate successfully if you don't give it context. You need to do quite a bit of hard work on giving the issue that you're dealing with context. And I've done that to a certain extent. And I've also created a kind of a proactive approach to AI, which I'll talk about in 2 or 3 weeks or so, which, was touched upon earlier, is how do you create a real dialogue with basically software that, has no experience of doing anything, and is not curious or in itself capable of generating new ideas. And so
you ever seen the magic glasses that can see?
Well, guys, I was trying to look at the thing on YouTube. Go for it.
Okay, so that's what I think. You need a balance between what humans are good at and what AI is good at, and what the limitations are, and create the kind of dialogue that works successfully and I don't want to use the word partnership because it implies the fact that you're dealing with a human entity, or even calling it a useful idiot. It's a piece of software, and I think it's a question of using it correctly without trying to make it have a human attributes and to it. So I think and I'll go through this article in a few weeks, but it's a question of looking at what you're good at, what AI is good at, and finding a way of creating the dialogue. And I think you started to do that with Brian by creating the context, by asking it questions, which it's good at responding at.
Mhm.
So I'm fascinated by the whole subject of what you're doing there.
Yeah. Wow. Stephen, fantastic. All those comments. Or is AI helping you here?
I used AI to help me with the evaluation, and it you know, the idea was is just actually taking the transcript from the video and looking at it, and then also with a little bit of focus on the storytelling arc that I use. And so it's this idea of it's the engagement. You have to catch your audience within the first 60 seconds. If you look at your YouTube video curves, you lose almost 97% of your audience within the first minute. So you really have to catch them fast. And what I would, just a suggestion, I would actually make it more personal. I would say I would give the story of grandma first and take them through that emotional arc. And I would actually probably try to condense it down a little bit, leave them wanting more. Don't try to give them everything and then pull them in. So instead of trying to give them everything at once, maybe make a couple shorter videos and condense it together. Because you will lose people. And I don't know why that is, but you lose them within that first minute. Everybody does.
So I actually I did a funky thing. I posted this guy Jeremy Uli's video to see how long people watch, and I had about the same. They stopped on his video on average 43 seconds, and I had about 45 seconds. So basically, everybody stops even in a really good video. So you have to get something to get them going on. And I saw Ben saying, you gave me a prompt, something I could do. And I think if you put that stuff earlier, interaction, what can you do? How do you use this? I think it would help a lot. Okay. Rick.
Thank you, Brian. Great content. And I'm going to say some things with a different spin because a lot of it is more what to than how to than why. And, this ties into what Mark was saying earlier about you have to have the why, the hook at the beginning. And, is AI your muse, your co-creative partner? Is it your research assistant? Wouldn't you like to have all of those things bundled together so that you could be more clear, whatever? You know what I mean? Something that sort of, the story, as far as I'm concerned, was, it's a great story, but I think it doesn't get to the complexity of using AI. And I think if you had a personal story of you using Sparks and how it was, and told a story arc of how it actually affected what you're doing, so that I can say, wow, I can do that. And that feeds into Stephen's point. You want to leave people hungry at the end. I felt full at the end, not hungry. Okay. So, and the other thing I had an idea, take the script, similar to what Stephen was saying, and put it into AI and ask it different questions about how to pitch this and what stories. I mean, sometimes I've asked AI to create stories or metaphors, and it'll come up with metaphors I haven't thought about. Whoa, that's a good metaphor. I hadn't thought of that. Or even put it into Notebook LM. I've used Notebook LM just for creativity, and it'll explain things in ways that I don't explain. And I think, oh, I can take a piece of that and add this and whatever. So, I mean, I think you've got great content. It's just the present, how to present it on a forum that gets people hungry, saying, I want to go play with Brian. He's a cool guy.
So actually, I did do that. Christoph was at a talk I did the other day. It was called Making AI Your Muse. And I was looking for an analogy, which was about using AI like Picasso used his muses. Well, actually,
yeah.
You can't sleep with your muses, so you can't use it exactly in the same way. But you know what I mean. You're trying to use the muse to get creative ideas in. And I found that was a nice analogy because everybody associates Picasso with creativity, and you can actually demonstrate these things in the way that he works. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically to leave a person inspired at the end. If you leave somebody inspired at the end, you have to be the muse to your audience, and if you do that, then I think, wow.
Okay, my big question for people, is it worth doing this?
Miguel is yours too.
Miguel.
Okay, about what Stephen was telling and everybody, like if you start like saying what sparked my mom to do this dish, and then you tell the story and then you explain the points, I think that they will hook them, because what it hooks me from the video was that exactly that your mom can use it, and so that's what I would just want to tell you.
Okay, so flip the whole thing, but then you have to figure out a way to end it.
And Brian, I'll give you my last comments. They are exactly the same, but I took the notes. The hook, exactly. The beginning is a little bit, it doesn't catch. You know, what's in it for me type stuff immediately. Either whether it's an emotional story, which is very powerful, or whether if you do, you gain. If you don't, you lose type stuff. Whatever you put in that scenario. The spark the transition between the different aspects of it. Some were very well cut. Some you were like, especially the first one, as you were introduced Sparks, you talk about some, and the slide is on Sparks the whole time, but you're talking about it, okay, and only at the answer. And I like Sparks. I felt like there was a few times where the slide didn't, the words were not at the same time as the slide. And the last piece is poses. As somebody said that already. And I remember when I took classes, they say people hear you when you stop talking. Is giving this second or two break between two slides to let people digest, because you have a lot of information. These are my comments on canais, and at the same time, I love the methodology. I love the way you get people thinking about using it differently.
Cool.
Dale.
Okay, so great comments, everybody. First hit was really a lot of good content, Brian. Really like the coverage and the quality of the ideas. The two things I would say is, one, as an exercise, I would try to boil it down just to see if it was 4 minutes, what you would drop out, if it was 2 minutes, what you would drop out. And what I'm getting at is really the core of what this video is for. And the other thing I would say is that at the end, I would have an action request. There's no action request at the end. I would put in, say, to get information about signing up for a 1-hour workshop on AI and how you can use AI more effectively. I've always been this.
Yeah.
I mean, really, the whole point of this, I think, is you want to get people enrolled in something next. So have an action step in there. But also, I would, people don't watch videos more than 3 or 4 minutes. I don't. So would try to get it down 2 to 4 minutes, just as an exercise in seeing what's the essential core you're trying to get through to people. And I also agree very much with the hook in the story. That really well. So those are my comments.
Let's take the last one from Mark. Thank you so much, Dale.
Yeah. Okay, good. There are two things. I think it's very important when you do any presentations to use the present tense, because if you said I did this in the past or I do it in the future, then you lose people. Just keep it very present. The other one is what works, and I don't know if it'll work on a short video, but if you can begin the story, because this story is about why people are not being successful at it. And I think if you start with your own experience of not being successful, and then what turned you around, because it creates vulnerability that you're not trying to pitch something. You're showing your humanity, and people get interested in that as well. And then it kind of tells the story. And I think if you see lots of good presentations, people often start with telling something on themselves, and then that gets you hooked in.
Very good
thoughts.
So there's lots of work to do, but the big question that comes up, is it worth doing it or not? I think it can lead into something good. I think it'll be a lot of going back and forth. Anyways, thank you very much, Christoph. Thank you for the time here. I find actually the idea of presenting a video, whether it's one of us or one of somebody else, is actually kind of cool, because you get a lot of content over quickly. And there's another video here I shared, which is really good, which is the one I sort of copied stuff from. Cool.
Another thing, Brian,
Mm.
Sparks is a very good word, sorry. And so you have to say it more strong at first, but it sparks my mom. So, so you only use it like that, but the spark is to do something, to be proactive. So, and that's the whole thing, to be proactive. So the spark is, the word is amazing, and the example of your mom is amazing. So I think that you have to focus a little bit more to create more curiosity, so they could stay seeing the video. Because I was playing in the mural thing that you sent at first. I said, oh, he was telling about something that sparked something with the words, but what it really turns my eyes on the video was your mom. So you have to focus at the first time to hook them, as many people as Steven was saying, you know, you have to hook them at first.
Yeah, no. Okay, there's lots of work to do, guys. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Brian. Thank you, everyone. And Brian, you have a lot of comments in the chat as well. Make sure you look at that after the call. And I'm going to offer to everyone 5 different rooms for today to continue the conversation. If you like to continue to talk with Brian about this presentation and presentation in general, for that matter, please jump to the first breakout room. If you want to talk about, you see the other one, business, the room is open, ethic and education, I'm combining them at the moment, tech development and health. We have about 20 minutes, and if you feel free to choose a room, and you, as always, you can change rooms if you want to. See you guys very soon. Pick a room of your interest. Guys, finding the room? Steven, great comments in the chat. Thank you.
Yeah, ChatGPT makes us look smart, does it not?
Makes you can speak English.
Perfect.
Well, thank you, everyone. I gotta go. I am here with my family, and I can hear the kids out there yelling, so time for me to go.
Thank you so much for making time, Amy. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye.
Steven, did you find a room that you like? Do you want me to move you to one of them? Ben? Welcome back, welcome back. All right. So we have two groups today, the business one and the one on the presentation. Could somebody from the business breakout please let us know, you know, kind of cover, summarize, or highlight some key points from that conversation, please?
We briefly spoke about the presentation that Brian did. Great job. A couple of things on that, highlights. And then we talked about some different tools for video. Notebook LM came up, Manus. And then we ended up talking about getting clients and going to maybe a place where there's a group of people already converged rather than trying to go out and maybe do a mass scale marketing thing like Bill had mentioned before. And then, yeah, we talked about some more tools and had a really good chat.
And related to getting client, would you mind expanding just 30 seconds more so we understand a bit more?
We didn't talk about it.
I talked about at I think my demo a couple weeks ago.
Ah, got it. Yeah. Got it. All right, Benja, Bill, thank you very much. All right, and we talked during there was the meeting, the conversation with Brian. Brian, maybe you'll be the best one to articulate what did you get from this conversation? What are some key points for yourself?
Be humble, be listening, keep on going forward. What I wanted to do is I wanted to thank everybody, but I'm going to type something up in the chat, which people might find interesting, which was, there was an idea that was raised in the talk, which is how might you give people prompts during a talk in a simple and easy way. And there actually is a simple and easy way to do that. You can make a long prompt into a simple QR code, and I'll put it in the chat and show everybody how to do that. So thank you, everybody. Go ahead, Miguel.
Hey, Miguel, you're on mute.
I just want to, it just came in my mind that prompts, if you do a very good prompt, you will get better things. But if you only write a simple thing, most of us, we use like an AI to make a very good prompt. But what we do to make that prompt, we just write something small, and then the AI will give you a prompt, and then you put the prompt in the AI. It's a common practice. But if you make the same thing without just put the normal thing or the lazy thing to put the small prompt, I think that sometimes it will get like the same answer. How do you think about it? Because it's a prompt about a prompt.
Well, if you want, what I can do next time, we don't have time now. I have some summaries about some of the prompt, whether they are the intro, all different in prompt work and to get different results, whether it's about flip prompt and whether it's persona prompt and so on. I'll be happy to put a few slides on that for the next time. If you want, it'll take just a few minutes and get some feedback and your ideas, exactly, Miguel, as you're saying, how to use prompt differently to get better results. I didn't know if it was too basic for that group, so but maybe based on today's conversation that could generate some interest. Yeah,
I think we probably all have collections of how to do prompts, right? So maybe one of our Monday meetings, we can sort of that could be the theme of the meeting. Yeah. Sort of sharing ideas around prompting, and like, you know, I've got several slides that I use with my clients on prompting, and it kind of blows their mind, the things that you should be thinking about.
That's the thing that I'm saying, how important, I know that it's important to make a good prompt, but most of the times, like myself, what I do is a very bad prompt and I get a very good result, even though it's a very simple one. Because if not, I will do the common thing that make that simple prompt to one AI to get a good prompt and then put it in another AI. But the real thing is that with the small prompt, you can get, most of the time you get a very good answer. Is that happening to you, to everyone here?
I would never rely on a single prompt. I mean, I'm basically doing multi-shot prompting all the time, whereas I want the first answer, but then I want to improve that answer. And I always put in a prompt about, okay, if this is what your answer is, what are you missing in the answer? What are you missing in this answer? So I always ask AI, what are you missing? Or do something like, take a completely different model for the prompt. But there's a vast number of rules to improve. Like another simple one is always ask what you want at the beginning and at the end. Because those are the key places. It seems to be the reliable places. But there's all kinds of rules like that. So it's so it might be worthwhile to have sharing ideas on effective prompting at one of these meetings.
Yes.
We'll put an announce ahead of time in WhatsApp. Say prep. Think about the 2-3 rules or that you use for yourself to get the right prompt, and then we'll introduce some of and share and see what works, what for everybody. We have 3 minutes left. I wanted to share. There's a link also, Mark. You put that in the chat. bit.ly.com. That thing where you explain it creates QR codes. Mark, you used it? You want to say one quick thing about it for everybody else?
Not really, just it's what it does. You have long URLs that you can't fit onto a written article, and it gives you a shortcode for it, and then you can do the same thing for a QR code as well. So it's really simple. You just give a URL and off it goes.
Because we're talking about QR codes, and Brian mentioned that, and
Brian put the in the. Did you use LT.ly? What did you?
Yeah, it has a longer character limit, so you can put a prompt which is up to 5,000 characters. You can put a URL which is up to 5,000 characters long.
That's great.
And essentially what it does is it just shortens that whole thing down to a one-off prompt. You just click that and it will actually start, and it'll tell you, for example, this prompt was designed by me. I'm a wonderful guy, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to show.
So T.ly will walk you through all of that and how you actually put the prompt in. Is that right?
It's too long. It's 5,000 characters long, the prompt. So I was going to put it in the text here, but basically you have a format which is to start. I'm going to put this in the chat. If you use that front part, which is chatgpt.com/?q is equal to something, that can be any prompt.
That's great.
And you just put whatever you want after the Q, and it will run that prompt.
And it's just normal text with spaces between, or do you have to put dashes?
You just type away.
Okay. Wow. Very cool.
So that's
Did you put up the link for the recordings? These
you should be able to save your chat.
As far as the recordings.
Yeah, it will be recorded and put online later on today.
Yeah. What is the link for that?
I will put it back. I will. It's in the group, in the WhatsApp group, but it's probably a week. The last one is a week old, and so I'll put it back this afternoon when I upload the video, Dr. Thomas.
Okay.
Can you put the WhatsApp link in there? Because I just want to make sure that I'm a member of it.
You look for it right now.
That's Brian, very interesting, because what you can do is if you've got some software, you can ask the user to ask a question. Throw that link on the end of this T.ly and then put it in a window, and it'll go straight to the website in the middle of your app.
Yep.
I like that a lot.
I think it's really cool because it was, I think, Christoph's idea is that why don't you share the prompts, but they're too long because people don't type them. So you can actually just show a QR code and it will start on people's phones.
well, or in any way, but Maya just write in software. Can you use it for Gemini and as well?
No, you have no shortcut like that in Gemini, as far as I'm aware of.
Well, I think this is very powerful.
So let's save the chat, and maybe we should put that back in WhatsApp as well. That everybody was on the call.
If anybody's interested, I'll write a short instruction set and I'll put it up in the WhatsApp group.
Oh, you're rock. Thank you so much, Brian.
All right.
Perfect. Now I did like the idea of I knew about the small URL, but the QR codes that is available, that's pretty cool too. And we were discussing that on the call, where now you see that more and more during webinar, you have the QR code right by the person, and you can take a picture and basically join the WhatsApp group as an example. And I saw somebody in the WhatsApp group put a list of documents, and now you have the phone number of the person as well, as an example. Cool. All right, gentlemen, it is a bit past the hour, but that was way worth it. Thank you so much for all of you for sharing. Again, everything will be uploaded this afternoon. Next week, Bill will talk about agent and MCP. Don't miss that talk. Looking forward to seeing you back next week. Have a fantastic Monday and rest of the week. Thank you, Brian.
Hey, everybody. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.